Greetings, Merry Meet folks. Symbian here. I've got two projects on the go, and I want to share them with you. The first is a witchcraft apothecary compendium. It's going to be full of all sorts of things. I'll just go through the table of contents to give you an idea of what I'm going to be covering. First is ointments, creams and lotions, absorbing salves, poultices, bath bombs, ingestible and non-ingestible teas, crystalline stone waters, tinctures, perfumes, colognes, aftershaves, toilet waters, solid bar and liquid soaps, solid incense that you would burn, sachet pillows, pomanders, how to make simple candles, specialized powders, invisible inks, and the last chapter will be on burning cipher papers. That's paper that has been chemically treated with potassium nitrate along with a couple of the other elements, so that when it dries, you light a match to it and it goes up in a puff of smoke. Sort of like what they used to call flash paper. The second project I'm going to be doing is to help myself make a Wiccan circle. What it is a measure. Looks something like a yardstick, only this one is 4.5 feet long from end to end. It's got a mounting hole at one end where you would put it onto a pivot spike, and the other end has got 3 or 4 holes spaced apart 6 inches each. So when you got an example here, so that when you draw the circle all the way around, you put the funnel in a hole, and for that particular hole you can pour 1 line of chemicals all the way around, and working closer you put the funnel in the next closest hole and do that. And I've got 4 holes here with an option of having a 5th hole. Now what that does, allows you to make perfect consecutive circles. Now when I'm making circles, I always leave the east gate open so that I can bring all of my altars and my materials and candles and everything else inside the circle. And then before I'm ready to begin, I'll take a little bit more of the chemical that I used, or chemicals that I used to make the lines, and seal myself in the circle. Excuse me. That way I can work without disturbing the lines that I've just drawn. What you do is you, in that funnel that you put at the other end of the what I would call a sacred measure or a golden measure, I pour in a little bit of, let's say, copper sulfate, and I'll draw my circle from east going all the way out around clockwise and finishing at east again. As I said, I'm going to leave a gap in the eastern gate. Now I'll do that 4 times, maybe 5 times, depending on what I use. The furthest outside line would be copper sulfate. The next inside is sulfur. The next inside is salt. And last maybe is what I will classify as like a silica sand. And if I really wanted to, I can lay down a line of herbs inside. That would be the 5th layer. But why do I do this? A lot of you, the first thing that comes to mind is, he's got 6 layers of protection. That's not the reason why I do it. It might be the reason why other people would line their circle that way, but for me, because when I'm raising energy, the energy is frequency-wise all over the place. a little bit of high frequency energy, a little bit of lower frequency energy. The energies that I'm raising don't really match. So what I'm doing for the 4 or 5 layers, I'm trying to cover the frequency range as a perimeter, so that those particular energies don't leak out of the circle until I'm ready to build the cone of power and release the energies in that. So it's more for me a building a very strong 4 or 5 layer container to hold the energy. I'm not so much worried about spiritual possessions or attracting negative energies to my circle and that. So it's not so much for protection, but it is for containment. All right. Well, those are the 2 products I've got on the go, and this is going to be a very short video, so I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop and give you the heads up as to what Symbian is going to be doing for a little while. I'm going to be working on those 2 products. There's a story behind the book, the compendium. When I was in my teens, like I'm 59 now, when I was in my teens, I just happened to stumble on a little tall book. This thing was, to describe it, emerald green color on the cover, a hardcover. It was 3 inches by 7 inches tall, and roughly around, half an inch thick. It had roughly about, I would say maybe a good 150 pages in it. But it had recipes for everything, like what I just named off to you. Salves, filters, you name it. And as fate would have it, the book went missing. And I've been wanting to reconstruct it and rebuild it from square one while I still have the information in my mind, while I still remember all of the formulary. But it's been a passion of mine to hold on to those formulas and that in my head, and until a point where I can actually build or rebuild a copy of that book, a hardcover copy of that book. What I may do in the near future is, as I'm transcribing pages, what I may do is transcribe them electronically as well to make a PDF, but roughly about 150-page PDF with all of these formulas and methods and how-tos in them, which I may make available to you guys in the future. It may be some sort of a swag contest, but the lucky winner will get a copy of this, a digital download of this. I'll encrypt it and give it a password, so that the lucky winner, I'll give them the password so they can decrypt it. But it's been a couple of these projects have been on my mind for a while. I've wanted to do a grand measure, which when I finished I will show it to you all. And when I get the book done, I'll show you the cover of it, because I'm rather proud of it. The whole concept of redoing this book. Been sort of a childhood dream of mine, which I am going to be shortly bringing into a manifestation. So, I'm Symbian. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be.